This station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we'll find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV. With hyper-local reach and language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and
Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome to Morning Spring today. This is the TGIF edition, of course, on this day, the last day in the month of May 31st. I want to say a sincere thank you for you being with us all week, all month, and of course the last one for this particular month. And Morning Spring is where we talk about everything that has to do with the betterment of this nation called Nigeria, from A to Z, having deep conversations, sometimes difficult ones, and it's about this project called Nigeria. And of course, you, the good people, and this great nation for Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. Today on the program, we look at the headlines, and of course, we then get talking about issues, many issues to talk about. The Kano Emirate issue, how the CJN has called for the High Court judge of Kano, and of course the Federal High Court judge right there in Kano. The judiciary are not smiling, especially on this conflicting others, which is casting aspersion, seeming aspersion on the image of the hallowed, chambers of talking about the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, the national anthem in Broglio is there, the measurement, and then the review of President Bola Tinubu's 1 year term in office. Many persons have talked about the performance of his cabinet members, maybe the outstanding ones, if there are any, and the ones that have been, very silent, it looks like that. But then we look into these and more. We read out the papers, and then during the conversation, we're talking about this special bill that was presented to the Osun State House of Assembly and has been passed and assented to by the governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke. You don't want to miss any part of these programs today. Femi Ojo is my name. I'll take this break. I'll be back. Stay with me.
As a player, there's nothing better than the roar of your crowd. But in Nigeria, there's a roar that may not be heard again. With fewer than 50 lions left, they could be extinct in the next few years from loss of habitat and prey and snares set for illegal bushmeat. So please, say no to illegal bushmeat. Let's keep the roar alive for Nigeria, because poaching steals from us all.
According to the words of Michael Forbes, one who never asks questions either knows everything or nothing. Watch me as I ask the questions you think no one wants to answer. Even questions it appears no one has got the guts to ask. My name is FEMI Adefila, and I've got the gut. Let's ask the pertinent questions and watch as we get answers.
Badamasi Adegoke Adelabu was a prominent figure in Ibadan politics and Western region before Nigeria's independence. He was a key founder of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, a political party that held lofty the torch of liberty for the two West African countries. He carved a niche for himself as a wordsmith and a creative speaker. The nickname Kwenkelemens was a natively corrupted version of peculiar mess, his bombastic English language style often used to score proceedings at the parliament. The author of Africa in Ebullition, a handbook of freedom for Nigerian nationalists, was Nigeria's Federal Minister of Natural Resources and Social Services between 1955 and 1956. He died in an auto crash on the 25th March 1958 at the age of 42. Western Spring Television identifies Adegoke Adelabu as a watershed character in history.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
All right, thank you very much for staying with us. The man is there. I guess you are, by now, every serious Nigerian must have mastered the Nigeria we hail the Tunde. 1 million naira. Give me your Nigeria we hail the line. Just first answer.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Let me first of all greet our dear people, first of all, at this moment in time. I don't know.
Gone.
Why do you want me to sing Nigeria we hail thee?
Because it's a national anthem.
Yeah, but we don't have to sing it in the studio. If we're outside the studio,
I'm just giving you an offer you can refuse.
no, don't worry.
Okay.
We can do that outside the studio.
No, you won't. It's over.
It's over.
But let the people know that you are here.
I'm here, and thank you sincerely for being here with us. It's always a pleasure. You being there with us as well on Western Spring Television. Morning Spring, the Friday edition, and as always, it promises to be very interesting. IDOWU is my name. Welcome.
Thank you very much. We'll go straight to what the papers have for us, and we start with the Punch for today. The Punch newspaper punching different headlines on its front page. And it starts with these, the student loan. Student loan, 336 state institutions listed as 60,000 registered. The portal opened last week, and we're hearing that 60,000 prospective beneficiaries have registered. And with riders, state students to be onboarded in 3 weeks, applications received from 90% of federal schools. That's a good one. And of course, the picture has Vice President Shatima, commissioning a particular project. Is flanked by different state governors, Abdurrahman Abdurazak of the Harmony State called Kwara, and of course the pace-setting governor, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, with other dignitaries. Moving on from that, local government funds, federal government, states begin legal fireworks June 13. And Lasema blames occupant as four-story building collapses in Lagos. Lasema blames occupant as four-story building collapses in Lagos. How are they being blamed? Is it that they didn't follow protocol? Has the house been marked before? The tenants refused to move? Okay, IPOP sit at home. Governors react as 2 soldiers killed, businesses grounded. How? You want to say how? And I think many state governors, at least Peter Mbao, the Enugu State, talked about that the students that are currently writing the SSC should fear nothing. They should go out. And we learned IPOP said it was a sit at home yesterday, 30th. And then you begin to wonder, is there a state within a state or state, non-state actors dictating how the state should be run? We are hearing 2 soldiers have been killed. It's a sad situation, really. Top Street, Tinubu Moore's new executive orders on tax and fiscal reforms. Again, here we go. Tinubu Moore's new executive orders on tax and fiscal reforms. Emirate hustle. Kano governor meets Ribadu. Sanusi makes first appointment. And from the U.S., Trump guilty in hush money trial. Faces sentencing July. Donald J. Trump has been found guilty. And EFCC invites Kwakwanso over alleged 2.5 billion Kano pension fraud. Many persons have seen this as the Game of Thrones Part 2 Reloaded on this matter. But whoever has a case to answer must definitely answer to those cases to go and prove his or her innocence and let the court decide on that matter. At this point, I bring Lade Jalabi in into the fore. Ranka Dedesa. Good morning.
Nigeria, we hail thee.
Right.
Our own dear native land.
Right.
Though tribes and culture differs, in brotherhood we stand.
Obviously.
Let me pause there because I don't want to take time. Good morning.
No, we have all the time.
What? Are you telling us you know how to sing?
Even long ago, I learned the song.
Just show us. It's not just telling.
No, it could be just the first few verses.
No, it's not the few.
You are close to me, right?
You know what? I'm a Baptist. And if you check our Yoruba hymnals 466, it's there.
All right. Thank you, Ladiji, for joining us. That's a good one. And that's the challenge I threw to Tunde earlier. Just 1 million.
The sad thing is, if someone like Tunde cannot sing the hymns, then maybe it's in the league of the likes of Tajuddin, because the people that even asked us to sing the hymns the other day, they couldn't sing. We saw them chewing their own mouth.
Let's focus.
Sunday was born shortly after Nigeria's independence.
Let's focus on why we are here. Thank you very much. Talking points, Ladiji. 336 state institutions listed at 60,000 register. State students will be onboarded in 3 weeks. Applications received from 90% of federal schools. Talking about the student loan. Finally, the portal opened. Registration is on.
Yeah, well, good one. Finally, the portal has been opened and people have been registered. I saw the news yesterday that 60,000 students have registered. But for me, the downside to me, of it to me is the fact that we are restricting it to some students, maybe federal and state university students alone. If you are a Nigerian and you are going to stay in Nigeria, you have every means to repay the money. Why not? Let's open it to all our students. Let them have access to this money. Even people in private schools, not all of them that have the money. Some of them, their parents go all out to borrow loans to take them to private schools. And they have their reasons for going there. Some because of incessant ASU strike. So why don't we just make this thing open to all our students? And the most important thing is just for government to monitor the repayments. because also that's been our bad side as Nigerians. The moment any money comes out of government, and it's not even about Nigerians alone, even about politicians too. When there is a particular money, maybe a loan or whatever they take from the government, they don't normally refund. So, but I think government just needs to monitor this very well, make it open to people as much as possible, then, plan for the repayments, of those loans back to the coffers of the government.
It's been reported that state students will be onboarded in 3 weeks, but then you made a case for students in private institutions. And many persons have said, okay, why not? They are Nigerians. But then, if you look at the kind of money that they pay, many persons are feeling, would that be unfair on the public students attending public institutions? And I'll tell you why. What 1,000 students in federal universities will use in going to school, it will not be enough for just 70 private students attending private schools, if you understand what I'm saying.
I get you.
It just 1,000 of students in Ile-Ife for OAU, if they put the sum together, it will not be enough to train 70 or 80 students in private schools.
Well, that may not be correct again, Femi, because also even federal universities have increased their fee now.
Right.
At the time, with 8,000 naira, you graduate from OAU. Now, students there pay even more than 100, 200,000 naira. And there are some courses, even in private university, there are some master courses in private university that we won't spend up to 400,000 naira to graduate as a master student in some private universities. Yeah. So, but if it is called a loan, you borrow what you think you need.
But there is a fund that we are using.
Now, Femi,
it's not an endless fund.
The issue now is, it shows from the what go, the priority we set for this loan. We have a fund, 5 billion naira.
We are kicking off with 5 billion.
So if we are now, if we want to borrow people loan, what you need is not what I need. You've pegged all of us that you cannot borrow more than 500,000. But if the school I'm attending, even the 500,000 cannot graduate you from some federal universities now. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, probably just a step at a time.
Now, the issue, my own issue is, why is it that it is when this issue concerns the citizens, the populace, that we take it one step at a time? Why are we not taking the issue of buying vehicles for House of Rep members, for Senate members, buying presidential yachts a step at a time? Why don't we? Why is it that when we want to pay salary, when we want to pay pensioners, when we want to give out student loan, it is when we take it step at a time? It shows where our priority lies.
Fair one there, DEJI. That will be all from the front page of the Punch.
All right, I kick off my first set of headlines from the page is of the Guardian newspaper for today. Quite a whole lot, and this is something we discussed outside the cameras here. Biafra Day turns bloody. Soldiers killed as IPOB enforces sit at home in Southeast. You have the picture of quite a whole lot of things there. But this is unbecoming. We discussed this earlier. But let me just, that's something we'll ask DEJI for his opinion here. Galvanizing a new Nigeria with an old anthem. That's an analysis there. Oyedele seeks tax forbearance for critical sector. 800 naira to $1 import duty forex rate. World No Tobacco Day. World No Tobacco Day. Tightening noose on cigarette access to curb youth addiction. Experts urge FG. All right. And 60,000 students register for student loan in 1 week. FG, Labour, OPS, that's the organized private sector, continue minimum wage talks today. Sanusi makes first appointment as Yusuf Ribadru Pali in Abuja. And local government autonomy, Supreme Court gives 36 governors 7 days for defense in FG's suit. These are some of the headlines making the round from the front page of the Guardian newspaper for today. And quickly, DEJI, here we go. We've seen this, it's been rampant in the Southeast over the years, ever since what's it called? Nnamdi Kanu has been locked up. Yeah. But looking at the way this is going at this point in time, we all know that as much as every life is should be cherished, those of gallant soldiers who are doing excellently at different fronts to secure this nation, We just heard that soldiers were killed yesterday. We just remembered what happened in Delta State. I'm trying to remember the name of that. Okoma, in Delta State. You saw what happened. Soldiers, the way they are trained, it's go and do the needful. Is this not going to turn bloody again in the Southeast?
Well, first of all, killing of soldiers or any of our, uniformed men stands condemned. They are overstretched already.
Absolutely.
We don't even have the enough number to to protect us yet. And attacking them is an attack. Attacking a soldier is an attack on the sovereignty of a nation. So whoever you are, that stands condemned. And it's sad that is happening. And to our brothers in the Southeast, we want to remember people that were killed during the Biafra War. And we are killing ourselves to remember those ones. What sense does it make to you and I? We just need to think out loud and reason these things. We cannot answer a crisis with another crisis. Even if we want to do the Biafra Remembrance Day, if some people choose not to partake in it, you don't have any authority. You are not a state actor. You are a non-state actor, for crying out loud.
And allow people the audacity they have at this moment
even attack, men in uniform. It is sad. But who do I blame? I blame the federal government.
How?
Yeah. Handling situations like this, people have said it over time, requires both political and other means of settlement. You've kept Nnamdi Kanu in custody for years. Courts have said, release this guy. A lot of time, the federal government will not agree.
You think if he is released, there will be peace in the Southeast?
Of course, negotiate with these people and do this thing with care. We cannot afford, we are overstretched as a nation. We cannot afford to go into even a minute of war. It doesn't work for us. It doesn't pay us.
Will it be a fair one on the lives of people that have died? And this is what I mean. Nnamdi Kanu, that's the biggest stakeholder,
of course,
as far as this iPod situation is concerned. He has been accused of making, very terrible statements in the past, giving directives, and then inciting, his followers. But then he has been in court. Instead of saying release him, many persons are saying just be done with his case. If it's going to be released,
I'm not saying release him because I feel the courts have said it that number. Release this guy. Now you said Nnamdi Kanu has made statements over time.
I was addressing the releasing part.
No. Femi,
that would have been fair on the lives of people that have died.
Simon Hepper
in Finland.
In Finland, the guy that has been fomenting trouble from Finland, the federal government has not done anything to bring him home. But you went all the way to Kenya or Rwanda to bring in Nnamdi Kanu. And this guy said,
are we sure about that? Because there have been discussions about
that. It has been confirmed that he was actually brought in into Nigeria. He wasn't in Nigeria. He wasn't arrested in Nigeria.
No, I'm talking about Simon Ekpa.
They have been talking. Nnamdi Kanu has said it most times that he's not the one giving the directive for sit at home. And you've seen, if you check Simon Ekpa's social media page, you don't even need police to tell you this. Go and see the inciting statement he makes every now and then.
All right.
This is a guy that you should look out for. Pick him up. He's the one fomenting trouble over there. But no, because of maybe whatever reason you like, you are keeping one guy. I'm not saying Nnamdi Kanu is not guilty of whatever you are charging him for, but if it is the same country that will believe, let the court confirm anybody guilty or not, and the court has said, let this guy go home. Even if the court said, grant him bail, don't allow him travel yet, you should at least obey the court of the whatever the court of the law have said.
As much as we from here as well, we want peace in our land. Please, our brothers in the Southeast, let's find a way around this. This will be some of the headlines as I have them making the round from the Guardian newspaper for this morning.
And of course, a quick one, still about the Biafra the sit-at-home sad situation. On the Daily Trust newspaper has says, many feared killed as IPOB marks Biafra Day. And writer says, soldiers among casualties. Students sleep in schools to write WAEC exams. That is what the Daily Trust is reporting this morning, and of course other things from Yobe State, but main focus is on the situation in, at the southeast. 30th of May was the day that IPOB said it should be used as commemoration day for the fallen heroes of the Biafra war. But then, like you said, something very instructive. You can't kill to remember the dead. How does that work? It doesn't work that way. Soldiers are among the ones that are being affected, and students are sleeping in schools just to write work. That is your future. Just some things will not just make logical sense. But that's all from the front page of the Daily Trust.
And just quickly, because of the want of time, the Nation newspaper has the big bold headline there as well. Council autonomy battle rages at Supreme Court. And on the top strip of that same daily, Tinubu Louds Makinde opened 76.67 kilometer Alawakala Road. 30,000 successful application in for student loan. And you have 9.5 million visits portal in 1 week. Some is a bit contradictory, but we'll have some 60, some 30. All right. Security has improved under Tinubu, says ex-US UK envoy. And court to sentence Donald Trump for felony July 11. The first American president, either sitting or outgone, will be convicted of felony. But then we'll keep our fingers crossed. July 11th is just around the corner. These are some of the headlines from the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, a lot to really talk about. Let me take Ladeji on that. Donald J. Trump,
you would
yeah, court sentenced Donald Trump for felony July 11. The election is just around the corner later in the year. Yeah. So with this latest development, the man looks unbothered by the way. But many persons are saying maybe this might change the dynamics in the election. It's obviously J. Trump or Joe Biden.
Of course, yes. But now, if he's convicted, will he still be on the ballot? Yes. That's the question. A lot of people, a lot of Americans who are not happy with the foreign policies. America now, it's funny that where we ought to be is where some other nations are. America now, most times, you can't campaign in America and say we are going to start building roads again. They are not building any coastal roads. What you campaign with most will be the policies. Our relationship strategy with other nations. Are we going to retrieve our forces from Iraq, from Iran, from all these places around the world? It boils down to the ideology of the two major political parties in America. Now, the conviction of Donald Trump, the only lesson I think we should learn there as a nation is that that someone has governed, that someone has a president, a sitting president, a former president, doesn't make him immune to being tried in the court of the land. In Nigeria, I've never had it that a president that everybody will be shouting. In fact, the incoming ones will tell you we met a rot. We met an empty treasury.
Oh, yeah, prove the rot now.
Prove the rot. No. The same people will come. And the funniest thing, when the president eventually dies, they will tell you he was a man that has the national interest at heart. You are lying. We lie to ourselves a lot. Yeah. This is a man you saw stole money, but we lie.
Did nothing about it.
This is a man you saw, sponsored terrorism, sponsored bad things. We will lie to ourselves. I think we should learn from this. It happened also in Brazil. A former president was, sent to prison for his activities during his presidency. In South Africa, Jacob Zuma. A lot of things around the world, but here
Jacob Zuma's own was even contempt of the court.
He refused to appear.
It is now. But here in Nigeria, I tell you, someone will have a case in court, someone will have issues with the EFCC, and the next day he will become the Senate president, become the Speaker of House of Reps, becomes the president, becomes the vice president, and that's all. You forget about it. And the moment the president begins to do one philanthropic activities in the society, he starts giving out cooking pots to women, wheelbarrow to youth. You say this man is a good man, he's a fantastic human being. The next time, let's campaign for him, he's a good man. But that's not the way to live our life. I think America has just shown another example that you are a president, because also what Donald Trump did during the last election, he was trying to change the narrative in America. It has never happened like that you were literally losing an election and you want to overturn things, you want to incite people against the government of America. It's really bad, but it is still opened. It's July 11th. Let's wait and see what the judgment of the court will be.
All right, still open. That's what. And we understand the organized labor and the government are back to the table today.
What do you think the outcome will be?
See,
today?
these people are not serious. You know why I said that?
No,
they are not serious because I don't know why they are pricing and they are negotiating as if you want to buy Pepe.
It's called negotiation deal,
the federal government is
called negotiation for a reason.
The federal government is more ridiculous. Ask me why.
Yes.
Of all things you can think of, you want to increase minimum wage. You are bringing it from 30,000 naira to 48,000 naira. Then from there 54,000. Then from there to 60,000 naira. They look so unserious. They look so unprepared. That's the same reason why of all our issues now, the priority for the National Assembly and for the presidency is to change the national anthem, where we cannot successfully change our minimum wage, where we cannot successfully, build good roads for ourselves, where we cannot successfully give ourselves electricity. But the priority. Now, what doesn't make sense to me, I'm sorry I'm digressing into the national anthem issue, because it's painful that what doesn't make sense to me is that these same people are shouting, believe in Nigeria, support made in Nigerian product, do this, do that. But this anthem we are going back to, go and check the video of where this anthem was first sung. It were only white people that sang the song. This anthem was composed by the British colonialists. And that's the anthem we are embracing, jettisoning, the one composed by our own.
Now, speaking about the anthem, one will say two truths or multiple truths can coexist. We can be handling other things and still change the national anthem. It's not mutually exclusive.
Life is about priority.
Yeah.
And over the years,
and some things can easily be done with than others.
Femi, tell me one benefit, economic, health benefit, educational benefit that this new anthem, the old new anthem will bring into Nigeria.
I was surprised yesterday even to see students, pupils in different schools singing it aloud.
Which school singing?
No, I don't want to mention names.
There is no school. They are just learning. It was viral. Even the teacher go around the show. The teacher that will teach the student doesn't know the song. The people that ask you to sing the anthem, they don't know it. Check the video. Now, even Tinubu was chopping his mouth.
The president sang you well.
He did. Go and check the video again. Tunde, what are you saying?
Because he's singing well.
Go and watch the video. It's live on video now. If Shetima was looking up like this, the same way Tinubu was looking, Buhari was looking up at the UN meeting the other time. He was looking up like
let's just put their title former president.
He's Shetima now.
All right.
He's Shetima and he's Buhari. Now, so what I'm saying, this, Femi, and today is that this doesn't have any economic and benefit to us now. It doesn't even represent what we are presenting as believing in Nigerian, producing. Because if we are living an anthem composed by our own person in Nigerian, and we are going back to what the British
expatriates
composed for us, then it shows we are not serious. Then why don't we just embrace God Save the King?
Okay.
All right. It is now legal. It is constitutional. Anybody that has issues with it should approach the court. It's as easy.
We know now. That's all. That's what
Thank
you guys
you
will say.
very much,
What
is the truth? It's the truth.
It is the truth.
The fact that
but the same court you guys have infiltrated.
Okay, Ladeji, one of these days we'll probably find time to discuss that, right?
Thank you for your time. Do have a lovely day.
I'm always careful when Nigerian politicians tell you go to court.
Ladeji, we should go.
I don't trust them.
Thank you very much. And of course,
but I can say for free that anthem is not what we need. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Pause right now, and when we'll come back, we'll speak to other issues, very critical matters that has to do with the well-being of the people, especially a very special cadre of the society, and they having the backing, over the people in power to make their lives feel better. It's the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, channel 190 start time TTT. We'll take this break. We'll be back.
Illegal bushmeat is not cool, but it's on sale in our cities, risking extinction and our health. and many of our iconic wild animals are threatened. So please be cool and say no to illegal bushmeat. And let's make Nigeria better for wildlife and safer for us all. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
Ahmadu Bello, a Prince Royal, was born 6th of December 1910 at Raba Village, Sokoto, northwestern Nigeria. His father was a district head and heir apparent to the Sultanate throne from the house of Usmanu Danfodio, a religious and social reformer who brought the Habib dynasty under the Fulani Caliphate in the beginning of the 19th century. Ahmadu Bello raised the bar of political consciousness in participation when, in 1944, he engineered the establishment of the Northern People's Congress (NPC) as the first political party in northern Nigeria and the rallying point for politicians in the region before independence. History will not forget Ahmadu Bello for his charisma and political sagacity, which provided easy passage for his kinsmen to assume political and administrative positions in Nigeria's post-independence era. The distinguished elder statesman and Sardauna of Sokoto has his face on his country's 200 naira currency as a mark of honor to one of the architects of Nigeria's independence. Western Spring Television identifies Ahmadu Bello as a watershed character in history.
All those who masterminded the way it happened will have to pay a price.
Enjoy Western programs, projecting culture and tradition to the world. Brought to you as the break and recapped every hour for your update.
Fellow Nigeria, how to improve your welfare is of paramount importance to me.
Produced and brought to you in a unique way never before seen.
Western Spring.
Western Spring.
And Western Spring Television.
Television is coming home in your color and culture.
This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education. His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village near Iseyin in Okeogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally the first story building in Nigeria, is an Akaba museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
For Zimbabweans, the pangolin is more than an animal. It is part of our culture. They are fiercely protected by our people, and if found, are handed to our chiefs for release. Wildlife is our heritage and can be our future. Remember, poaching steals from us all.
All right. Thank you for joining us again on this program, Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is the conversation time.
Yeah.
And of course, we will be speaking, as I said earlier, on a very critical part of any human endeavor, that is the well-being of the people and making life easy for ourselves. And then this particular case we are talking about is a very special cadre of people in society, or people with special needs. I like to refer to them as well. You understand, being in that state might not be the best anybody might want to wish for themselves. But then, like they say, life goes on. But now to make life very easier for them, the constitutional way, there is this bill that we learned has been in the public space for some time. But then, the good news is just a few weeks ago in the state of Osun State, that bill seeking for the prohibition of discrimination against people with disability or people with special needs, has been passed into law. And of course, the sponsor of that bill is in the building today, and he joins us physically right here, Honorable IDOWU, popularly known as Irekandi, representing the good people of Obo, state constituency, is here with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, Honorable IDOWU Ade is not alone. We have a Director of Youths with people with special needs up in here. It's our pleasure having Blessing Adeniran in the house.
Good morning.
Blessing.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's get down to the business of the morning. Here we are at this moment. Let me start with Honorable Ade himself. Here we go. First of all, how do you feel that what you started has seen the light of day?
Feel fulfilled. Feel at least achieving something that is worth it. Because it's been a while that we've, actually wanted to achieve this, but finally we have it achieved, and we're also happy for the disability community, in Osun State, as finally they have a breath of fresh air. They can now be integrated into the society without any kind of discrimination. So I'm happy for them. I'm also fulfilled.
And looking at when this whole thing started, it's glad to know that when you start something and you see that it has a conclusion positively, there's always. But let's come back a bit now. This has been one phenomenon in the society. Whenever most people, when we see people with special needs, and it has always been, we've just pushed them aside. They tend not to be amongst people, what they need to have, what they need to achieve. It's a bit relegated to the bottom. When this came up, was it that there was an issue you saw that prompted this? Or why, among so many beautiful bills you have, this in particular, what prompted it?
Okay, thank you for that question. Maybe, permitted, let me just share a bit of a short story of how this came about. I'm serving my second term in the House of Assembly presently. So during the 7th Assembly, the former Commissioner for Women Affairs called me on phone and said someone was coming to meet me, that she was actually sending somebody to meet me. And I was in the office at that time. So when that person came, she didn't describe the personality of that person. So when that person came to my office, I observed that he was visually impaired, you know, and of course it's from my constituency. And amazing thing about this young man, wonderful man, is that he's educated. He has a degree from the University of Lagos. He could access his WhatsApp, he could drum, he could play the keyboard, and many other things. As a matter of fact, when I discovered that he was sending messages on WhatsApp, I asked him to send me a message, you know, on my own WhatsApp to confirm. I observed he was using the voice over, you know, all those kind of method, and he was sending beautiful English, no mistakes, comma, everything included. So he said all he wanted from me at that time was to get him a job, you know, and I was, you know, inspired that, wow, this is wonderful. He was not coming to me for to give him a token, or, you know, he said he wanted a job. So I promised him I was going to do everything within my powers at that time. So I tried, you know, to get him a job, and I discovered that it was coming out very difficult for me to get him a job. And I felt, well, the state government is always having employment, you know, there are different, so what if we want to have employment and we reserve a particular percentage for people with disabilities? So that was what prompted that. Then when I started the research, I discovered that we even have it at the federal level. So that makes it easier. It's just a matter of we domesticating the bill. At that 7th assembly was when I submitted the bill for the very first time. And well, for reasons best known to the leadership of the assembly at that time, the bill did not fly. And thank God for the 8th assembly. The bill has now been passed, and very soon it will be assented to by the governor. And in fact, the young man that actually started all this, I've discussed with some of the officials of the government that, you know, in the historic signing of this bill, he should be invited also to also be part of the signing, because one way or the other, he started the inspiration to the bill. So that was how the bill started.
Wow, this is so touchy. Honestly, for you to have said someone who is blind and who is visually impaired could do all this I think I saw somebody like that in Ibadan during the days of former late Governor Alawa Kala. He became one of the special advisors, Dr. Adekombi. And honestly, that, just as he rightly said, he's someone who would pick up his phone, get your number, and call you. So I wonder, but then, Femi, you ready?
Yeah. Before we come to Ms. Adiniro, you just shared a story, the inspiration behind why you started all this. Now, let's speak to the bill. Now, you have just confirmed it has been passed, but it's yet to be assented to, you know, by the governor. What are those things in the bill, the nitty-gritty, that bill seeks to address really in the society? And for me, I think that's very important for purpose of information, for purpose of education. What are those challenges that you feel this bill will address?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, permit me before I address what is inside the bill, because I just felt it's right I do this now, to sincerely appreciate the House of Assembly. I just told you of a previous assembly that this did not fly, you know, for reasons best known to the leadership as at that time. So I want to sincerely appreciate the leadership of the House of Assembly under Right Honorable Adewale Egbedun for allowing this to fly. He threw every of his weight behind it. Not only him, every member of the House of Assembly, particularly the House Committee on Youth and Sport and Special Need, which is being shared by Honorable Member representing for Central State Constituency, Honorable Adeyeye. You know, they all did very, very wonderful. I want to sincerely appreciate them, and also appreciate the governor himself. Right from the inception of the bill, the governor has been interested in the bill, and he has also thrown his weight behind the bill. Now, having done that and having said that, this bill is all-encompassing. It addresses everything that has to do with human life, especially those with disabilities, from their health to their education, to their social life, to everything. For instance, in their health, they will be registered with Osun State Insurance Health Scheme, you know. OEs, yeah, you know. For their education, you know, they will also be enjoying a kind of a free education to some extent. You know, it's also taken care of by the bill. So it addresses, you know, even their access. You observe that people with disabilities, especially those that use wheelchair, find access sometimes very, very difficult. You know, like I was coming into your TV station right now, I observe you had the ramps, you know, for people with disability. That is fine, but you also need to also do that in the studio, because we had a bit of a difficulty for, you know, accessing this place. So it addresses everything. And you know what I like most about this bill? This bill also establishes a bureau for those with disabilities. And the chairman, everything about the bureau are those with disabilities or those with interest in people with disability. In other words, it will be chaired by someone with disability. You know, in other words, they will be able to take care of their own welfare. So the bill is all encompassing.
And it's good to note that you talk about health, you talk about education. Would there be a fund to take care of all?
Yes, definitely. Now, you see, apart from the fact that the state government will be releasing funds, there will be budget for this. You know, the state government will be the bureau.
Inside where?
With the bureau.
Okay, the bureau.
They have a bureau.
Oh, okay.
You know, just like any agency of government, that they have a budget. In other words, they will also be submitting their budget to the Legislative Assembly. You know, they will have something to run with. Okay. You understand? Under the Ministry of Special Needs, you know, and the likes. So it will survive. It will thrive. The governor is even interested in it. Apart from that, being that they now have a bureau, they also have access to grants. You know, if need be, they can also take loans. So it's a body on its own.
Okay. Blessing, let's talk to you at this moment in time. And first of all, I'd like to thank you and sincere apologies about the few hiccups you experienced on your way. Someone like you, you've not been deterred. For you at this moment in time, looking at you, Director of Youth here in our dear state, and how challenging is it for you as a person at this period in time? And thank God government is just here. So we're going to talk about what you will definitely want as on a collective force. How challenging has it been for you? Let's get to hear from you, and then I know he's taking notes.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the privilege. Yeah, there's been lots of challenges in terms of mobilization. Going out from one place to another. We need to go out as well. We need to move around. You can't just stay indoors. So we need to go out as well. In terms of mobilization, getting to the streets, there was a day I was going to work. So I just bought a bike to the streets. I was telling them, Abere, they did not stop. They refused to stop until I saw a man of God that stopped for me. So those people are still thinking that taking us as a passenger is still a liability to them. So it's not everybody that has heard of it. Although, all thanks to our governor, he's doing a very good job according to us, we people with special needs. But we still need him to create some awareness for people in order to know about us. Even we are not saying they should take us for free. We are paying. I have my money that day. I want to pay, but I did not see. I was just calling. Nobody is ready to stop until I saw one bus that stopped, and I was there like 5 buses passed by. You.
So things will get better. At this point in time, listening to what Honorable has stated, and just waiting for assent, and we just hope that will come into play. Now, for people with special needs, you've heard what Honorable, the plans on ground at this moment in time. How would you react to these plans? And should these plans manifest, what do you think will become of people with special needs?
Yes, if these plans is manifested, people with special needs will really have a good life to live. Life will not be difficult for them. So we'll be able to live with normal people. There will be no discrimination between us. Life will be good for us. Because I've seen a case that people with special needs do not have right to education. They do not have right to job. They believe they can't do anything. And we can do so many things. With these bills that has been signed, I believe life will be so good for us.
All right. Sorry, Femi. Honorable, let me come back to you, and let's go back a bit outside our jurisdiction here in Osun State. Remember the son of former governor for Ogun State, Benga Daniel, who was really embarrassed at one of the fast food eatery because of his special disability at this point in time. In Osun State, the numbers of special needs, people living with special needs is on the rise. What is the house doing to cater properly? I know you've made mention of health, education, yeah, but not all of them. Yeah, here we go. If you see Bless, obviously, she speaks well, she dresses well. There's still some of them who are not privileged as blessing. How do we manage them? How do we take them off the streets of our dear states in Osun State? Is there anything, any plans by you or the State House of Assembly to now say, government, we need to do this for this set of people?
Okay, now thank you very much. Now this bill addresses what you've just said, because like I said, the powers of the people with disability will now be vested in the bureau. You know, they have they decide everything. You understand that? Then let me also speak to the point of the child of the former governor that you talked about. Now, by the time this bill is signed into law, it will be an offense for you to it will be an offense for you to discriminate against anybody because of their disability, and you can be jailed for it, you can be fined for it, or both. It's in the law the moment it is signed to the law. So for instance, if Madam Blessing wants to access this TV studio and she's unable to access it because of her disability, she has the right to sue Western television station. It's just an example anyway. And the TV station will be fined or jailed, as the case may be. So I want to pick a point from what she said, that is we need more awareness of this, you know, more awareness, and that will be the job of the bureau. You know, it's as if we are giving them the opportunity to decide for themselves what they want. You don't need to go meet any other person. It's your bureau. You have the powers already. The law is backing you up, and you have the fund for it. You have the budget for it. Do the awareness. However you want to design, how you want to take the people off the street, design it, put it in your budget, and the government will support.
It's a good place to have it. Now, you're talking about sensitization, and I wanted to ask, the bill, beautiful as it looks, we're hoping and we are waiting for the assent of Mr. Governor on this matter. I wanted to ask, and you're already touching it, at least in a bit, that before we get to the punitive part of this bill, especially when it comes to law, are there provisions for education, firstly, advocacy, sensitization, so that we just don't come with the hammer of punishment?
Yeah, that is part of what we're doing now. You know, you invited me, I obliged immediately. You know, this is also a platform, and this, if I also check my calendar, I think I still have a schedule with another TV station, you know, of this same disability bill. So the awareness continues, and the moment this is signed into law, the bureau takes up the responsibility in conjunction with the Ministry of Information and Orientation, you know, to make sure. So I support what you said. More people need to be aware, and thank God for PWDs in Osun State. They have a very viable organization association that passes information across to the people. They've invited me a number of times to their programs. So using their own platform too, the awareness can also be created. So I agree and I support what you said. So everybody, all hands must be on deck with what your TV station is doing, and every other stakeholder, you know, to create that awareness so that you won't be, ignorance will not be an excuse at the long run.
Of course. You talked about the support for the education from a particular, maybe a level to another level. Will you be gracious to let us into that? What level of education will be taken care of or will be supported?
Okay, now let me say this. Number one, they will all be registered. As a matter of fact, I think I read a statement from the state governor, you know, that every person with disability should go and be registered. Okay. Now, so everyone, so it's from that, because, you know.
To be registered where?
It could be online, it could be to your local government.
Oh, okay. Local government specifically, because it's just a way of having the database of everybody with disabilities in every of the local government. Now, I can't tell you to what level, maybe to what tertiary, but I can tell you that at least the basic education will be taken care of, no matter what. And even beyond the basic education, also trying to empower them economically. You know, many of them have something that they are doing. You know, they will be given a special, you know, regard in that area.
Before I come to Blessed, let me ask you this. We're still talking about people living with disability or people with special needs. Now, there is a part of those people, and I'm being careful here, who are resident here, who are from Osun, who are from the side. Now, in the society, we have those from other parts of the country. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound discriminatory here, in which that's what you see, that's what they come here to do, like a job, to beg for arms. Where does those ones fit in? You're talking about education. Some of them might not be. They just want to be on that business part of getting arms and taking care of themselves. How does this law?
In Osho State, President, there's a law against street begging, street hawking, and all those things. So we just need to enforce it. Now, I understand the angle at which you are coming from. Now, in other words, if you want to benefit from this, you have to be registered. So if you are not on the database of the state government, you can't benefit from this, because there will also be a certificate that will be issued. So for everyone with disability, you have an ID card, you have a certificate that you carry, that you are with disability. In other words, that will allow anybody to give you the support or any kind of thing that you are going to need. So if you are not on that database, you'll be treated, as just a normal person. And if you are on the street begging, the law can catch up with you. If you're on the street hawking, the law can also catch up with you.
All right. To Blessing, you've talked about some of the challenges. Mobility is a huge factor. You have given us an example. But beyond that, in your meetings, when you talk, when you rub minds with other persons. By the way, you used a term the other time. You said with normal people. All of us are normal people.
That's what the society discriminates with.
For the purpose of education of this program, allow us to do away with that term. All of us are normal people. Now, maybe mobility, sight, hearing. There might be some challenges to some persons, but erase that from your mind. We are all normal people. So that has been said. When you speak, at your meetings, at your fora, and you have just listened to this development by the State House of Assembly, good one, by the way, because we can easily castigate everybody in government. When they buy cars, we castigate. When you people buy a car, we castigate. When you support pilgrimage, you castigate. But then it's only be right when you do good things as well. We should talk about it, and that's why we have you here, and we appreciate you for that, to do more on these as well. So, Blessing, what are other things that are being discussed in your meetings for people to know the challenges? Because it's not just about the government. There are well-meaning people who have interest, in the people living with disability or people with special needs who might be interested in handling one challenge or the other. What are other things that are being discussed that you want the people to know?
Yes. I've met with someone that carries a beautiful certificate, a degree for that matter. And up till now, I think she graduated around, it was in 2014 or 2015. And up till now, she couldn't get a job.
Did you tell you why?
I don't know, but she just said she couldn't get a job. And the person, if you see her, you take pity on her. So I will suggest that
employment, right?
Yes, employment. She couldn't get an employment. And some people, when going for maybe medical checkup, to banks, anywhere, they have been, in this case, they will just set us aside. That give us time till we attend to this person.
They don't give you the same attention.
They don't give us the same attention. But thanks to some people that has a kind that have been doing that see the ability in a disability. So thanks to those people, but not everybody could do that. Some people like to discriminate. They like to set us aside. They will say, these are the people we want to attend to today. You should come back. Mostly they will give us time to come back. And mostly sometimes we may get there and they attend to us on time. And another time we get there and they will not attend to us on time.
I think I can, just like Honorable has rightly said, it's coming to that point where you could be fined, you could be arrested or jailed. So
maybe you permit me to read some of these things, the fines, because I have the bill here. Now, Section 2, Clause 2, Section 2, Subsection 1, a person with disability shall not be discriminated against on the ground of his disability by any person or institution in any manner or circumstance. Now, let me go to Subclause 2. A person with disability shall not be subjected to prejudices or harmful practices, including those based on sex, work, age, or tradition in any area. Now, let me go to the fine. A person who contravenes those two subclauses I read, subclause 2, 1 and 2, commits an offense and is liable on conviction. 2, in the case of body corporate, like Western TV, for instance, a fine of 500,000, and an individual, a fine of 50,000, or 6 months imprisonment, or both. So the moment His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke assents to this bill, it becomes a law. So if there's any kind of discrimination, people with disabilities have the right to approach the court based on this law, and the court will give the judgment against anybody discriminating against them.
Before I come to blessing, Honorable, how soon? Because this is fundamental. This can turn the lives of all of us. I don't want to just say because I'm standing or not. All of us. How soon? Because if this goes in, if this comes into play today, probably there will be that massive reorientation of each and every one of us not to discriminate this set of people. How soon is Mr. Governor going to do?
Okay, now, before I answer that, I just saw awareness program here, because we talk about awareness also in the law. The State Ministry of Information and Public Enlightenment shall make provisions for promotion of awareness regarding the rights, respect, and dignity of persons with disabilities, and capabilities, achievements, and contributions of persons with disability to the society. So the awareness is also taken care of in this bill. So when will this bill start? Now, like I said, the moment it is signed, it becomes law.
Yeah.
So we need to create platforms before it becomes law. This is what the governor is trying to do. The moment he signs it, it does not cost him anything to sign the law. But the moment he signs it, it becomes law. You understand? So he's trying to lay the foundation and prepare everything. Like, for instance, asking, for registration and the like. So very soon. And the governor also want to create, he also want to make kind of an awareness towards the signing. The people with disability will be there. It's not just something we just sign and, he wants to create a kind of a ceremony out of it so that it will create an awareness for the people.
Listen, your people, how aware are they of this at this moment in time?
They are all aware of it, and we are all really happy about it. They are all aware of it.
Now, looking at how you guys mobilize yourselves towards, because I don't know how prepared are you as well, all of us together. We are all in this, I can assure you. How prepared are you guys waiting? And I would probably suggest that you should probably be staying by his door so that Mr. Governor knows that there is something needful. Well, that's just on a lighter note. Mobilizing your people, gathering, registering, how well have you guys done this at this point?
Well, about the registration, it's going really viral because we have some people that could not go to their local government, so we have online links. So they've sent all the links to every platforms that we have, including the general platforms. So if you are on the platform, you definitely know about the registration. So you definitely see the link and you will register once you click the link.
All right. It's good that technology is working here. I'll still come back to you, Blessing. But let me use this opportunity to ask Honorable Adewumi some other questions. The last time you were here, we talked about education. And there is a popular opinion in town that when it comes to education, as far as the Osun State House of Assembly is concerned, Honorable Adewumi is the person to talk to. That's a popular belief. If you don't know now, you know. By the way. But then, I made a point at that time, and I'm not sure it has changed. Sadly, in the Southwest, and this is a fact, Osun has the highest out-of-school children in the whole of the Southwest. I asked you the other time, and you said, yes, as disturbing as it was, you and your colleagues will do whatever you have to do. The situation is the same. Honorable Adewumi, what have you been doing? When I mean you, the Assembly.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's not statistics that you want your state.
Yeah, we are not happy about that now. Before I also answer that, I just saw something I should read here again. Because, like I said, the moment this becomes law, if you are found wanting, you can be fined or jailed. Yeah. But I also want to allay the fears of our people, in terms of access for the people, because there are some buildings now that do not have access. If you're building a commercial building especially, a public building, you do not have access like ramps, you know, and this becomes law. Does that mean the government will come over to your building the next day and, you know, arrest you? No, that won't be the case. There's a kind of a transitory period. So I want to read the transitory period so that people will know. From the date of the commencement of this bill, that was the day the governor signs it into law, there shall be a transitory period of 5 years within which all public buildings and structures, whether immovable, movable, or automobile, which were inaccessible to persons with disabilities, shall, as far as practicable, be modified to be accessible and to be usable by persons with disabilities, including those on wheelchairs. So I think Western TV has enough time to do that, but you do not need to wait till 5 years. Now, talking about out-of-school children, unfortunately, you know, that is where we found ourselves. I don't talk about 4 years, 8 years. This is something that we are just receiving the fruits. We've planted a bad seed several decades ago, so the fruits are coming out. So you see people roaming on the streets. This is not the best. This is not what we want for our nation. Now, one of those things that we observed is that teachers in school, you know, there are not enough teachers, and this is why the state government very soon will be rolling out thousands of teachers that will be employed. So if you ask me what has the government been doing, I will tell you the teachers recruitment is one of those plans. Then secondly, one of those things that we observe that also encourage, you know, or that will reduce the number of out-of-school children is the school feeding program. Over the time before now, the federal government has always been joining the states, you know, in doing this school feeding program. So the state government started several months ago, so they had a bit of a challenge because of the federal government was not able to, you know, fulfill their own part of the agreement. So, but now they are coming back again. So this is part of what we encourage, you know, pupils to stay in school.
Are there policy statements or enforcement, especially to parents, to make sure they take their children to school?
You see, I am a grassroots person.
Yeah.
The law is there. Even in our constitution, I think up to basic education, you know, it's compulsory. You know, so the law is there, but there's a space for the law. There's a space for the practicability of the law. Why did I say I'm a grassroots person? I know the challenges my people are facing now because, you know, I deal with the out-of-school children. I have hundreds of them on my scholarship presently, you know, that I take care on my own, you know, as far as my constituency is concerned. Some of them in secondary school, some of them in primary school. But one of those reasons is that I'm not taking sides with the parents anyway. I'm just trying to say this. So one of the challenges they are facing is that our parents even use these children as a kind of economic tool because they help them in their small-scale business. So you want to go to school. If you go to school, who's going to help me to sell this, to sell that? So the time to go to school, they also engage the children. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. So we just need to, number one, look for every way we can to economically empower the parents also. That's on one side, and also create more awareness. I think I read a state governor or government, I'm not sure of the state now, that it could even be an offense that the parent can be arrested if your child is not going to school. So that is the point at which we are even going to shoot, and I can assure you with that.
All right, quickly, you know, you are here, and the national FEMI issue is what has been the old me right now, has been what has been in the normal. Let me ask you, you're a parliamentarian at the state level. Are you proud of what your colleagues at the federal level have done? The speed, the priority they've put in bringing these old new back. You're a parliamentarian yourself. I don't know, maybe you have ambition to go to the federal level at some point. But are you proud? And is that a priority? I need your opinion on that. Honestly.
I thought you wanted me to sing the new national anthem.
No, maybe some other time. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a class of 2009 that we graduated together, and about some days or weeks ago, they posed this question to me, and I immediately replied that we should have done this without leaving others that are very, very important undone. So I'm not saying we should not change the national anthem. It's not totally bad.
You are telling us what you are not saying. Tell us what you are saying.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell you that in terms of priority, there are more important things.
This shouldn't have come now.
Even if it will come, there are other things that should have come with it together. You know, we have security issues. We have economic issues. You have to just pick that. You know, and
the speed.
The speed, because if the speed at which that was done, If security issue can be resolved as that, it will be very fine. Economic issue resolved as that, it will be very fine.
If there is one thing you like to tell everybody watching us, people living with disability as well, and they are watching you right now, and they are seeing a blessing on TV, all smiling, speaking, addressing the people, what will it be?
Well, I'll just appreciate them for having me here. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I'm so happy to be here. I would like to tell them that the law that will be passed soon, we should make use of it very well. We should not just take the law with levity and that the government has done this for we should now turn it to another thing. We should monitor it and be ourselves.
All right, because of yourself. That's where I want to take. We have to go. But a word of assurance to people with special needs at this moment in time, at least to convince them that we are being heard.
Okay, well, I will assure the citizens, especially the people with disabilities, that the state government, when I say the state government, I mean the executive arm of the government, I also mean the legislative arm, even the judiciary, the three arms of government are interested in people with disabilities. And the government will do everything within its power to ensure that when this bill is signed into law, when it becomes law, it is actualized. Because there's a difference between from you signing something into law and making it practicable for people to benefit. The state government will do everything under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke to make sure everything inside this bill is actualized.
I would like to thank you most sincerely, Honorable Adewumi Adeyeye, Honorable representing Obokun Federal Constituency. State Constituency. Okay, you know, Femi said, are you looking? So I'm probably beginning to prophesy State Constituency. Thank you most sincerely, sir.
Thank you very
much. It's always an honor. And we'd also like to thank Ms. Blessing Adeniran, Director of Youth, PWD. Thank you most sincerely. Thank you. Don't worry, it's going to happen.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Thank you. And that will be what it looks like at this moment in time. I want to thank Femi too. Okay, I don't know who I am. And thank you for being a part of us for today on Morning Spring for this week. We'll be back again on Monday, God willing. Tunde IDOWU is my name. Hey, let's do the needful.
All right. Thank you for being with us all week, all month. This is the last one for this month. We sincerely appreciate you. The next time we meet on this program will be in the new month. God bless Osun State. God bless Nigeria. You can have a recap of this program on Western Spring Television, our social media platforms on Instagram, on X, and of course on Facebook, all at Western Spring Television. Like, share, subscribe as well. Please stay with us for Spring Trend. It will happen now. Femi Ojo is my name. See you. Enjoy your weekend.
Television gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to 1 million images in 1 million brains. People say video killed the radio star, but here in Osun State, radio is very much alive and thriving. It is not just about tuning in. It is about tapping into the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Welcome to Rave 91.7 FM, where the airwaves come alive with a symphony of voices, music, and ideas.
Nestled in the heart of Osogbo, this station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV. With hyper-local region language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and English languages, ensuring that everyone feels represented and included.
Built on a tested and trusted system, WSTV upholds the value of truth and integrity, serving as a beacon of objectivity in a sea of media noise.
We reflect on the journey that brought us here, from humble beginnings to a trusted source of information and inspiration. WSTV stands as a testament to the power of media to inform, educate, and empower. So join us as we continue to break barriers, challenge norms, and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive media landscape. Western Spring Television, where every story matters and every voice is heard.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Hello, good people. You're welcome to Spring Trend today on Western Spring Television. And I want to on Star Times DTT. And what we do here is talk exactly about what is trending, who is trending, why they are trending, and sometimes where are they or these things trending, especially here at this time. They are just, compilations of trending stories, especially on social media. Femi Ojo is my name. I'm very happy to be doing this with you at this time. Of course, Ojo is here.
Yes, I am. I hail you.
Now you. Thank you for joining me to do this. Very quickly, let's go to Alex Oti. Alex Oti is the governor of Abia State. And of course, there is something about him at this time, talking about the agitation, especially from a section of talking about the southeastern part of Nigeria. There is a group that has put them together. They are called IPOP, and they talked about a seat at home. This is coming from Vanguard NGR News. Biafra Day. Abia government won't confront seat at home promoters. OT. Abia government won't confront seat at home promoters. That's coming from the governor. OT. Okay. And the tag says Alex Oti versus his people. Alex Oti versus his people. Let's see reactions to that. Mr. Ombudsman _ says, were you expecting him to confront the will of majority of his people? If they choose to honor a day by sit at home, how is that your headache? Okay. At Ted _ Thek says, una no. Okay, let me say that. That's quite insulting. So make he come out saying he won't confront them. Man doesn't need to announce his line of action towards the issue. Y'all pray and watch him. And Shege Bobo too. You will not confront them even if thousands of students writing WASC are stopped from writing the exam. As the Chief Security Officer of the state, you swore to protect these students. Where is the commitment now? That's a question there. And Chidility says, wise decision. People have their constitutional right to mourn. However, they should also not force others to join them because everyone has their right to make decisions. Today I need your response on these. Alex Oti is saying people that are talking about sit at home, he will not confront them at all. And people divided on different sides. I need your opinion.
Yeah, you see, IPOB, what's been going on in the Southeast over the years is a bit disheartening. It's really disheartening, not a bit disheartening. It's really disheartening. Some non-state actors coming out to say nobody should come out. Who gives that audacity? If I don't want to go out, that should be my decision. If you are protesting against something, channel it to the people, the organization you are protesting against, not enforcing it that because we want something done, we want to celebrate something, nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to go out.
You should sit at home and mourn.
What for? Whose business is that? Look, when I'm mourning over something, it's my business. I stay at home. I don't go to the next door and call you, come and mourn with me. Now, it's getting out of hand. And listening to Mr. Governor, Alex Oti, there, you are the man in charge. I'm not saying you should violence versus violence. Don't bring up, there's always a way around these negotiations and pacifying and things like that. But Mr. Governor and the governors of the Southeast, I still feel they have extra work to do. This is unbecoming too much of this set of people. And one of the reasons why you have this IPOB, ESN, Ebube guys, they're fighting for their leader who is there. And the man has dissociated himself from this sect. Because I think it's now...
But the governor is saying, I won't attack them. I won't confront sit-at-home promoters. That there are promoters of that sit-at-home order. He won't confront them. So many persons are saying maybe he's just being diplomatic. He doesn't want to appear like, say, he wants to attack them or confront them. By the way, he might have a plan to attack them. Or many persons who are saying he could have, just as the chief executive that he is, make his position known, speak in strong language.
To be honest with you, when you head a place, you're the head there, you're the one in charge, and you know that if I say this, probably will cause the bomb
tension
to explode, cause that tension, anarchy, and what have you, it comes into play. There's always a way. Diplomatically, you say certain things.
Do you think he's been diplomatic?
I feel he is, and he has to be.
All right, he has to be. We move away from that to the tax man. The tax man is the one we're speaking about right now. And the story is Nigeria Stories. Breaking news. The federal government consider implementing an exchange rate of 800 naira per dollar for customs import duty. All right. Custom import duty 800 naira per dollar. I think for now is around 1,300 naira or thereabout. Okay, let's see reactions. At Otakeri Ogenero, she says, when it comes to what will benefit the people, they will use the word consider. To at ND090, the comment is that the only way price of goods will come down, or better still, that is the only way price of goods will come down. And this one is at I_am_VD. What about the loss of supply and demand? Okay, the next tweet says at Mark33836, government want more revenue at hand. While the economy is seriously declining, they will have to choose one: lower import duty and see price of good come down, or increase your revenue through lower import duty and get lower revenue. So which one will it be? Okay, your reactions to that. Another approach by the government.
The government should not think they can have their cake and eat it.
How do you mean?
If they are looking at this at 800 naira to $1, are they considering
for importation?
And this has been one thing that has marred the economy of this great nation, Nigeria. We are too import dependent. When will we start exporting? Why do we have to, at all points, every little thing has to be imported?
We
it has to be imported. Why?
Enough.
Why aren't we having those companies manufacturing in here? Don't we have the capability of doing that?
You know these reasons.
They should.
Power,
they
security,
should do.
Policy.
Femi,
yes.
I can assure you that, okay, don't let me even say I assure you. The point here is, how many days did it take them to pass the national anthem?
Okay.
3 days. Do you think if that will be done, do you think it will not be done?
Okay.
It's a matter of priority.
But the 800 naira per dollar import duty, do you think is a bad call? Because many persons are saying if the import duty reduces,
yes,
then that means the prices that people get to pay for goods and services will reduce. But how does this benefit? Because you're talking about revenue.
There should always be a way. There's always a way government can show up things. They know how they show up things.
A subsidy again.
Oh my goodness! Look,
is it by subsidy?
No, it's not. Look, for me, 800. I still feel it should come further down, so that generating revenue. Government is thinking of the benefit for them. They're not thinking of how the citizens.
Is it really about them or the people? This particular move.
The import duty, that's what I said, even if it comes further down, it pays us as much because, look, there's always a way they can bridge this gap.
How about importers that say have their wares somewhere?
Look, everybody knows, for us as human beings, it's always a way around.
If the last container I imported, I did it at 1,315, and the government will say from next week, the import duty will now be 800 naira per dollar. What does that do to my goods? Or maybe there will be a time frame.
I think that should I think that should have been the time frame. That's more like
away from that, let's move to this next one, and it is quite a bizarre one, and the story has a video. Let's have the video.
Where's your school? What's the name of your school? See children that asking them to carry this kind of heavy stuff. Oh yeah, drop it.
You didn't get what is happening.
I don't want to know. Do you hire them? Do you hire them? Do you hire them?
Is that the problem?
There's problem. These small children.
No, it's not heavy. I don't know the hospital is.
It's not heavy. This is not heavy. Drop it. People should go back to your school. Or else, I'm calling police on you. I will. I will. Why would they carry the small children? Small children to carry. Which man? You are doing this allegation. What that moment on Basoro? See what you are doing. They should carry. See, oh, look what they are doing. Oh. Look what they are doing. You can't even hire. This is a private school. If you are a private school, madam.
All right, that's quite bizarre one there today. At the moment, a woman stopped private school pupils from carrying concrete during school hours, and you can see it in that video. Those concrete, in buckets,
Is that why you were in school?
Well, okay, let's see reactions to that. At Abbas Wilzi, this is so wrong. I sent my child to school not to fetch water. That's not even water, to fetch concrete. Okay, away from that, at Oladapo Mikey 1 says, what does the law say? Do not engage a child in hard labor or lifting of heavy load that can affect his physical or social development. Punishment is 50K that's 50,000 naira, or 5 years imprisonment, or both. Section 20 of the Child Right Act. Okay, that's from the position of the law. At Somto Beke, this is so wrong. Parents will be at home thinking their kids are getting learned, not knowing they're out there doing hard labor. And at DEJI, how Percy go they pay school fees, you go see they using Peking do labor. Thanks for the intervention. And this one from at @rise_prop, it is not even a public school. Schools that are supposed to guide the children in their parents' absence are now abusing them. We are our own problem. It is not the government. Watching that video today, what went through your mind?
First of all, the proprietor or the proprietress of that school.
See your child in that, you're just walking around, you know.
Oh, I see the video. I see a video, and it's my child.
Let me post a scenario here. You're walking around your child's school, and you see him, you know, fetching concrete into the school. What would be your reaction as a parent?
Let me not use my child.
Okay.
Just as the lady and the man in this video had rightly accosted the teacher or proprietor or whoever that is, I would have done the same. This is not right. Before we know it now, we'll lay the blame on the floor, on the doorstep of government. Is this government? Now, I have sent my children to school for you to go teach them, help them better their lot educationally. The other part of it, my responsibility and that of my wife. But the point is, you're not asking my child to carry cement, water, or whatever. Man, it's going to be a tug of war. That's wrong.
But this is wrong.
Absolutely. It's wrong.
Because the teacher saying it's not heavy, just some.
Why has she not put her own child there if she's got one to go carry it?
Or herself.
Or herself to go carry it. And I still fume at the schools where they give, because I come late, my kid comes late to school, you now give them cutlasses to start cutting the grass. No.
Isn't that okay, you are painting a different scenario here. Isn't that for a child that will come to school late, I'm not talking about toddlers, maybe teenagers, isn't that
there are other things.
Isn't that part of discipline?
That's not discipline. That's labor.
Especially in secondary school.
That's labor.
That's why you have labor prefect, isn't it?
No, look, if we have labor prefect, there are other things.
What are they supposed to do?
Pick up dirts around the school, and they're dead. Yes, not my child. Even if I have grass in my compound.
So you prefer, I hope we don't digress, so you prefer your child will come late to school and the school will say welcome?
At the point, for me, ever, I am one of those parents that will never allow my child to get to school late.
So if it happens, and it keeps happening?
If it happens, it's probably, there is an emergency, there is a reason.
So what should the school do? They should just say welcome?
No, not welcome. There are other punishments.
Like what?
Yeah, go pick up, go clean, go sweep this place. Yeah, I don't mind. But now put a cutlass in the hand of my son or daughter, excuse me, to say, go mow this grass. No, I ain't going to take it.
Talking about this particular situation, and, the children were carrying stuff on their head, concrete, and, that person who did that video accosted them and threw it away. Yeah. The teacher fled up and said, why did you do that? What would you call that kind of person that accosted them? Is that good citizenship?
That's a good Samaritan.
That she has done.
That's a good Samaritan.
Or she's not. Some persons will say, why don't you mind your business?
Most of us will look away. Most of us will look away. Femi, that's
or would rather momo and go. Without really doing
exactly.
anything.
Or momo and go. But for what she had done, and to the extent at which she took a video of it, I feel whatever state that is, the Ministry of Education should take this up. This should serve as a deterrent, as a big lesson to school owners. Look, we pay exorbitantly. Most of us, whereby our kids go to private schools or what have you, we pay exorbitantly through our noses. Now, the monies we pay, why can't you just hire a laborer to do this?
If our producer can just put that video up again while we discuss it.
Honestly, why don't we just pay for laborers out of the little we pay to to do this rather than putting my child or my children or someone's children carrying concrete. Look at the kids. Look at them.
7, 8-year-olds.
Look at them. You're putting that kind of heavy thing on their head.
And you could see the teacher even charging at that person to say, why are you doing this?
No. This is
the audacity.
This is unfair. Seriously, this is unfair. And you feel the parents will be happy that this is what you're doing to my child.
After he or she has paid.
I'm here now at work. Why am I working?
Somebody say, Baba is doing labor. The Peking is doing labor.
Hey, goodness me. No, something must be done. I just hope the Ministry of Education, whatever state this is, looks into this.
And that's a primary school. You could see even the area is very dirty. You could see the drainage, and these children are carrying water. The thing is, what kind of learning can these children do after this? And if actually they sustain any injury, this teacher will lie that he or she doesn't know anything about it. It's a sad situation. You would have even expected or expect her to be a kind of
sober.
Say,
we're sorry.
She was still charging. The audacity.
Oh no, she's lucky. Probably if she had met another woman who was probably hot-tempered.
You wouldn't have said the woman should lay hands on her.
Yeah.
No, we are not saying that.
Honestly,
but then the right thing is to push away that bucket. To say, no,
which she did.
You can't do this.
Yeah.
And I think this speaks to the communal living that we used to live in the past. That everybody is everybody's neighbor. You will not see something bad and you close your eyes.
You know something? I said this.
This I just brought it back. This is what we grew with.
I said something.
But this is not more the case.
And I'm saying it over and over and over again. The day we as citizens of this great country begin to show harmony, begin to live in harmony, we love each other, we look out for each other, irrespective of who you are. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I look out for you, you look out for me, then I think the society will be a better place.
Yeah.
Honestly. But just as we said earlier, what thing concern me? I'm going, and you look at that poor boy. If that poor boy or girl carrying that thing falls, just as you said earlier,
or twist the neck,
they will call the parent that he has fallen. Please come and carry him.
And most likely that teacher will deny. I say I didn't tell them anything. I think it's on every front, just like Tunde has said, and many of our tweets have said, is very, very wrong. Why take a child? It's not excursion. Why take them on anything outside the school compound? It's as bad as that. And you could see those children are fetching it from somewhere. No teacher was following. She was just coming out of the school compound. So whatever happens to them on the road is their business.
That's unfair.
9, 8, 10-year-old. And this speaks to the good side of social media now. For the people that are saying social media should be banned.
No, it has its good side.
You wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known.
Absolutely.
If actually it's not for the social media and technology. By the way, it has its own challenge as well. But instead of shutting it down, why don't we just regulate it? Tweaking it? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I could see you being upset. He's not your child, but you're already upset.
Yeah.
That's
somebody's child.
They go around your Peking school. You can't say carry concrete. What's happening? He said, my auntie say make a carry. What?
Goodness.
That day they will know that since the day of John the Baptist,
the kingdom of
somebody something. And those something took. Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. This is how we pull our brakes for today. A big shout out to every production member that has been part of this program, the last one for this month as well. Trust us to come back stronger next week when we bring you another edition of these. Femi Ojo is my name. Do all you have to do to be good. And if you're auntie or uncle, don't send no send Percy Peking on this kind of journey, because be human yourself.
Absolutely.
The thing is, will you be happy that your child is doing this? If you're comfortable with this, other parents, they are not there to do labor. They are there to learn as well. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. And by the way, let me just go learn your anthem. It might come handy somewhere. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye.
One who never asks questions. He that knows everything and nothing. Watch me as I ask the questions you think no one wants to answer. Even questions it appears no one has got the guts to ask. My name is FEMI Adifina, and I've got the gut. Let's ask the pertinent questions and watch as we get answers.
Some people say animals don't laugh, but perhaps we don't give them a reason to. Our unique species of gorilla are only found in a small forest between Nigeria and Cameroon. With only 300 left in the wild, we cannot afford to lose even one. Traps and snares used in catching bushmeat often kills or injures gorillas too, driving them to extinction. And that, you agree, is no laughing matter. So say no to illegal bushmeat from endangered animals. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 defined the configuration of Africa, which hitherto existed as a continent of multiple kingdoms and empires under native rulers. The conference, otherwise referred to as Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa as initiated by German leader Otto von Bismarck. The Berlin Conference is often called the scramble for and partitioning of Africa, as each of the imperial powers carved separate portions of the continent for themselves without recourse to racial and cultural identities and differences. 137 years after the Berlin Conference was held, Africa remains a legitimized playground for European nations that sought to exploit its wealth and resources and manipulate its human capital to promote trades and investments of Western powers. Western Spring Television identifies Berlin Conference as a major event in history.
Our music is one of our greatest exports, but our wildlife could be another great industry if we protect it for future generations. Right now, it's threatened by illegal wildlife trade. So please, report wildlife crime and say no to illegal bushmeat. Because poaching steals from us all.
James Ajibolaige was a lawyer who obtained his first degree in classics from Nigeria's premier University of Ibadan. Born September 13, 1930, the orator and the polyglot spoke impeccable English, French, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba languages. His fine diction placed him among classical orators and public speakers like Cicero, the Roman orator. This attribute earned him the prefix Cicero of Esauke. He authored Kaduna Boy, an autobiography, Detainee's Diary, Constitution, and the People, among 6 other books. Bolaige was a colorful politician, elected governor of Oyo State in 1979 and appointed a federal minister in 1999. He was a pioneer founder of FEMI, the Yoruba social, cultural and political group. He invested his political
break and recapped every hour for your update.
Fellow Nigerians, how to improve your welfare is of paramount importance to me.
Produced and brought to you in a unique way never before seen.
Western Spring
And Western Spring Television. Television is coming home in your color and culture.
We all want to do our best to win for our team. But right now, we're losing to the illegal trade in wildlife. Illegal bushmeat is on sale in our cities, risking extinction and our health. We've become a centre for ivory and pangolin smuggling, and many of our iconic species are threatened with extinction. So please report wildlife crime and say no to illegal bushmeat. And let's work together to win for Nigeria. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Television gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to 1 million images in 1 million brains. People say video killed the radio star, but here in Osun State, radio is very much alive and thriving. It is not just about tuning in. It is about tapping into the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Welcome to Rave 91.7 FM, where the airwaves come alive with a symphony of voices, music, and ideas.
Nestled in the heart of Osogbo, this station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we'll find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV, with hyper-local reach and language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and English languages, ensuring that everyone feels represented and included.
Built on a tested and trusted system, WSTV upholds the value of truth and integrity, serving as a beacon of objectivity in a sea of media noise.
We reflect on the journey that brought us here, from humble beginnings to a trusted source of information and inspiration. WSTV stands as a testament to the power of media to inform, educate, and empower. So join us as we continue to break barriers, challenge norms, and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive media landscape. Western Spring Television, where every story matters and every voice is heard.
COVID-19 is a global crisis. Businesses, cities, even countries were shut down by a disease traced to a wildlife market. We must never let it happen again. In captivity, wild animals are potential sources of disease. To protect our wildlife and our health, say no to illegal bushmeat and report wildlife crime. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Orders are fired.